Good afternoon, Kavibal, and welcome to another session of our ERB webinar series or our educational radio and TV broadcasting webinar series. For today's discussion, our topic would be on capacitating teachers in the use of radio and TV in teaching basic education. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. All certificates will be generated at certificate.vibalgroup.com and no certificates will be personally emailed to our participants. Also, for the questions during the session, place them on the comment box allotted and they will be addressed by our speaker later on. Place your hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to our Vibal webinars. Experience learning, Kavibal. And now, to proceed with our webinar this afternoon, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker. Our guest speaker this afternoon is a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English from St. Louis University, Baguio City, has a private education student fund assistance or PESFA, and King Pauguatay Poco Tanyo International KTTI Scholar in 1995. She earned her two Master of Arts in Education degrees, major in Educational Management and English, and Doctor of Education major in Educational Leadership from the National Teachers College, Manila. During her postgraduate course, our speaker showed remarkable academic performance by being a candidate for academic excellence. She was subsequently hired by the same institution as one of their graduate professors. She also studied Korean language at Yonsei University, Seoul, South Korea in 2008. In 2012, she went to the University of Malaya in Malaysia as one of the members of the benchmarking team of NTC Graduate School. The following year, she led a team from the University of the East to benchmark on quality education in Sukcharion Phon School in Thailand. She also led a group of Doctor of Education students to benchmark at Manhanakorn University in Bangkok, Thailand. Last March 2014, she presented her paper entitled Interface Between Morphology and Syntax from the In-Service Teacher's Knowledge of Word Formation and Word Order at the Language in Focus 2014 or the LIF 2014, an international conference held in Antalya, Turkey, and was tasked as chairman in one of the plenary sessions in the same conference. She has also been a guest and resource speaker in various academic institutions around the country training teachers. Just last January 17, 2020, she gave a talk entitled Differentiated Instruction in the Context of K-12 Curriculum at Manhanakorn University of Technology, Bangkok, Thailand. Apart from her teaching career, Dr. Javier also authored several books in English and communication. At present, she is a full-time English professor at the University of the East, Manila. She also serves as a graduate school professor of the same university and is consistently awarded as one of the outstanding graduate school professors. She is also a graduate school professor at the National Teachers College. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you our speaker for this afternoon, Dr. Deborah A. Javier.
Thank you, Miss Kia. Hello?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay na ako?
Okay na po, ma'am.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, fellow educators. So, thank you very much for the invitation, Vival Group. A special thanks to Mr. Gadi for recommending me to be one of the speakers in the webinars of Vival Group. So before I'm going to start with my discussion, capacitating teachers in the use of radio and TV in teaching basic education, I would like to share with you my reflection about what is happening in terms of the ways on how we're supposed to teach our students now that we are under pandemic. We are suffering from a lot of problems, especially problems with the use of technology in teaching. So with the advent of online teaching and learning, as educators, we should be able to give our students choices and chances to learn Meaning to say, we should not rely on the use of internet only, but we should also look into the beauty of radio and TV in the teaching learning process. That's very important. We should be willing to undergo trainings and look for alternatives for us to be able to still teach our students in our small ways. So this will not only be beneficial for schools in the far-flung areas, but also for schools in the city, considering our shortcomings in the use of technology. So whether we like it or not, we all have problems in terms of the use of technology. We are not yet very advanced, unlike other countries. So this afternoon, I'm going to walk you through three topics. The first one, problems in using the internet in teaching. Second, the beauty of radio and television in teaching. And of course, tips on how to make use of radio and TV in teaching basic education. So these are the three topics that I will be sharing with you this afternoon. So please join me in this academic endeavor, in this academic journey, and we'll all see what we can do for us to make use of radio and television in teaching. So I would like you to reflect on these pictures. So the first picture, these are not mine. Okay. The first picture is a picture, maybe some of you have seen it already. The first picture is a picture of a teacher on top of a tree, trying to get a signal to be able to teach. So I don't think you would like to be in his situation. For the love of teaching, for our dedication of teaching, so we are very much willing to go up on a tree. I'm not very willing to do that. So instead of this one happening to all of us, maybe we can do something else. And that is what is being suggested by the Department of Education. We should not have a negative thought on the use of radio and TV. So we don't have a choice sometimes but to make use of every resources that we have. The second picture is a picture of a student also trying to get a signal for him to be able to keep in touch with the teacher and then for him to be able to submit requirements. Just last March, when we had the ECQ, you know that most of us had problems in terms of really continuing to keep in touch with our students, especially that some students do not have their own internet connection at home. They just use mobile data, they just use their mobile phones. So there is a limitation. So it's really a problem. So look at this one. He needs to go to the rooftop and then on top of a tree also, just for him to be able to send a message or to attend the class. Another one. This one really broke my heart. So teachers went on top of the mountain just for them to get a signal to be able to submit forms on what they are being required to submit. So I hope this one did not happen to you. But if it did, then I really appreciate the dedication and the love for teaching. The next picture, so I hope they are not there today. These are teachers who who camp along the highway just for them to be able to attend a webinar. So you see how much teachers dedicate their time to learn, to be equipped, to be prepared for the next school year. Next, I'm going to give you the problems. This is now my first topic. The problems that we encounter in the use of the internet. The first one is that we have problems in terms of accessibility. Remember, the Philippines is consist of so many islands. So the number would differ depending on whether it is low tide or high tide. So accessibility, there are still some areas in the Philippines which do not have access in terms of the internet. Unlike us living here in the city, it things are accessible. But for those who are in the far-flung areas, they get problems just like the ones I've showed you in the picture. The second one is slow internet connection. Sometimes we get frustrated. Even teachers here in Manila have problems in terms of the slow internet connection. So a lot of my graduate school students kept on telling me this. or they have to stay late at night in school just for them to be able to send forms that they need to submit because it's already the deadline, and they really get frustrated because of the very, very slow internet connection. So how much more if we are going to use the net for teaching? So the more it would be frustrating, because the more that there will be a lot of people using the net, then maybe we'll have a bigger problems in terms of connection. The fourth, we have teachers and students who are not technically equipped in terms of the use of technology. For students, maybe we have more higher percentage in terms of those who are technologically equipped. For teachers, I'm sorry to say that there are a lot of teachers like me who are not really very good in terms of the use of technology. Our IQ in the use of technology is not very advanced or very high, unlike the younger generation. So sometimes we have problems in terms of the use of technology in teaching, in submitting forms, in preparing for our lessons. Believe it or not, this is really happening. Next, the fourth, we have affordability. Let's not forget the fact that some of our students are not really well off. They belong to the have-nots. Okay, those who cannot really afford to have their own internet connection at home, so they just rely on their mobile data for them to get connected. So if you have problems with affordability, then how will they be able to continuously keep in touch with their teachers or attend online classes if they do not have loads? Remember, our problem is not only on connection, we even have problems in terms of, for example, the basic necessities. So maybe in terms of internet connection, this will not be their priority. Next, we have, now let's try to look into the beauty of radio and television in teaching. So what are the advantages? So let's try to appreciate. So some of you maybe have very negative thoughts already of how will you be able to make use of radio and television. Please do not be negative about it, because not all of us will be on TV. Not all of us will be on the radio. Hindi naman. Sana nga all. But not all of us will be tapped to be the one to record on TV for lessons. Not all of us. They will tap the best teachers to be on the radio or on the TV for them to do the facilitation of or facilitating of lessons or lesson presentation. So the first one is radio and TV are agencies for distribution. They provide flexibility in time and space, and also mass education opportunities. Compared with the net, it's not really as accessible as the radio and TV. So even in the mountain areas, in the far-flung areas, radio and TV would be very feasible to use in terms of educating their students. Please do not be negative about it again. When we say we can use them for teaching, it doesn't mean that we will use them all throughout. So for the meantime that we have problems, then we can reach those who are in the far-flung areas in terms of the use of radio and television. Okay? And then in terms of time and space, because they can do repetition, for example, if you can request that it will be aired in the morning, then it can also be aired in the afternoon. That's possible. That's happening actually in Colombia. Schools who tap to be used as a means for them to reach their students, they requested radio stations to play or to air these educational programs in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay, and also a very big opportunity for mass education opportunities. Remember, no students left behind. We have education for all. So if that's the case, then if we will only stick with the use of the net, then we will have so many problems or big problems. Number two, radio and uh, TV offer information which are more current than textbooks, which are actually available in textbooks. They're more current. So how is that? Because we can keep on updating programs on the radio and on TV, unlike books. So for example, you can use prepared books last 2018. So some of those things that you have in your book are no longer very updated compared with what you can have on TV or on the radio. So with this one, we can keep on updating. Okay, it's more updated. And that's the beauty of it. We can easily update information, updated information. Next, the third, radio and TV can be used as an effective teaching tool to help build literacy skills, address current social issues, and energize classroom activities. So, how is that? When you can use radio and TV as an effective teaching tool to help build literacy skills, meaning to say, you should be able to really utilize it. So, in my next topic, I will be teaching you how can you utilize it. So, for literacy skills, and then address current social issues also, since what they can hear on the radio and what they can see on TV are more updated compared, because remember, when we give examples, for example, in English classes, because I'm an English professor, when we give examples, we do not only stick with the examples in the book. Sometimes we think of examples which are recent and more relevant for students to really be able to relate. Because sometimes, if the book has been written for a long time already, then it's very difficult for some students to be able to relate with your example. So it's good that you use radio and TV and get updated your examples just for you to be able to energize classroom dynamics. Okay, especially kids, they really are very, very updated with almost everything that's happening around. We should not underestimate them because they really know so many things. Sometimes they even know better than the teachers. They know more updated. For example, things which are happening around, they know more about the news. Okay. Next, we have the fourth one. Radio and TV can be used by teachers in certain types of contents in class as a starting point for discussions about certain events. Okay. So if you don't want to really, and you don't have the ability to make use of this one, then you can simply adapt different programs on TV and on the radio to be your starting points for your lesson. And this one will really make the discussion very, very interesting because students, for example, have seen it on TV, they have heard it on the radio, although the downside of radio is that not all our students listen to the radio. I think adults, the elder ones, are the ones listening to the radio. I'm one of them. I love listening to the radio. Okay, I'm not really into watch television that much. But for students, they love watching TV. Sometimes they can stay long on television. They watch almost everything that they can watch, especially now that they are not doing anything. That's why it's very good if we are going to make use of TV in teaching. Next, the fifth, high quality educational content on TV judiciously can help students at different educational levels to grasp new concepts and to even add a little enjoyment to class time. Okay, you have to think of high quality educational content. And these things can be taught for you to make use inside your classes or in teaching. Okay, if you are not in your class, of course. Okay, at different educational levels. So let them grasp the concepts, and then you can also try to modify it. I think you know very well that when you give group activities, group dynamics in class, it's a favorite of everyone. In every time I attend demo teaching, there is always the last part is always the group dynamics or the group activity. Since you love that one, you love your students doing that one, and students love doing that too, then you can make use of this educational content to be part of the activities that you are going to ask your students to do in your class. Okay. Next, we have number 6. The use of radio in teaching is, is for material economical for materials can be prepared and recorded and used as many times as required. The best teachers can be used with a very wide coverage. Yes, actually, this one is being practiced already in other countries. They tap teachers to be the one to record or to do it live on the radio, and then oh, they try to make use of this one time and again, especially lessons which are not really changing from time to time. For example, lessons in grammar, that would be possible. So subject verb agreement, it's still the same. Tenses of verb, it's still the same. How about in other areas? For example, in physical education. So if you're going to record it for one time, then it can be used many times. That's the beauty of it. We can save. It's very, very economical. So we don't really need to make use of a lot of materials, especially if it has already been recorded. Number 7, radio is beneficial for scattered population and for remote areas. I have already mentioned this one a while ago. Since we are consisting of different islands in the Philippines, then it's not really possible for everyone to be able to access online. So you can make use of the radio, especially for the remote areas. For those who are in the city, there is no problem with that. So please do not react negatively about the suggestion of DepEd in the use of radio and TV or in teaching. Okay. Number 8, TV offers information in multiple forms according to Wetzel. Images in motion, sound, and at times text. These forms of information benefit learner by enabling them to learn through both verbal and visual means, to view actual objects and realistic scenes, to see sequences in motion, and view perspectives that are difficult or impossible to observe in real life. I don't know if most of you love to watch cooking shows. So very, very advantageous for those who are teaching uh, cooking, for example. And then there are many, many TV shows which are really very educational. And students can really see the actual things which are happening. They can see the color, they can see the movement, they can see the shape. So both verbal and visual cues are there. So they can hear, they can see. So I don't think there is a problem for them to understand things since everything is already there. That's the beauty of the use of TV. It's just that we should have the ability how to utilize it. So it's not only limiting on letting them watch and that's it. Okay. Next, let's now proceed with the 3 general approaches to the use of radio and TV broadcasting in education. This one is adapted from Wikipedia in education. So we have here direct class teaching or broadcast programming. Substitute teachers on a temporary basis. So direct class teaching where broadcast programming substitute teachers on a temporary basis. So take note, temporary basis only. So it's possible that some teachers, I've already told you this one a while ago, just like to reiterate, that some teachers can be tapped to be the one to be seen or to be seen to be the one who will record lessons on the radio, and then they will have instruction or they will do the teaching, uh, and then students will simply watch them. That is one, just one approach. So direct class teaching. So they will, for example, the government will schedule, for example, for grade 1 at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and then a teacher in grade 1 will teach certain lessons, and then on the next hour, it will be another teacher, another grade level, another lesson. That is one approach. So do not be afraid because not all of us will be seen on TV. Kasi baka mamaya ano ba yan? Sa TV tayo talaga magtuturo. Hindi naman lahat. Not everyone. Wish ko lang. Lahat. Number two, school broadcasting, where broadcast programming provides complementary teaching and learning resources other than what is available. So what happens here? There are universities or schools in other countries. This is one approach. I don't know if this one is happening in our country. School broadcasting, they do their own broadcasting of their lessons. So for example, schools in Japan, they have their own broadcasting station. So those who are into online learning in the university or enrolled for distance learning or open university, they can access lessons through this one. They simply watch it on TV. But the ones who are doing the teaching are also teachers in the university. How I wish this one could also be done in our country. Sana soon. Maybe in big universities, they can do that. They can broadcast their own lessons. Next, we have general educational programming over community, national, and international stations, which provide general and informal educational opportunities. So these ones are already the national and international TV stations can be tapped also to do the presentation or to have programs for students. So they can have news programs, these are the examples, documentary programs, quiz shows, then educational cartoons, etc. So there are a lot. Okay, there are a lot of choices. So you can make use of news programs. You let students watch a news program and then you let them do a reaction paper, or you can let them listen or watch, for example, a program, a documentary program, and then they are going to make, for example, a reflection paper and many more. They can also watch quiz shows, educational cartoons, and then you have to process it with them. And then you can also ask them to submit something out of these activities or out of these programs. Now, let's proceed with the last part of my discussion. Tips on how to use radio and TV in teaching basic education. So as teachers, with these problems that we have, what can we do? What should be done if students do not have access on the net? The first one is balance educational content with features that naturally appeal to students, like upbeat music and friendly and engaging characters. So if you are going to if you're thinking of producing, for example, a program for your students, then consider this one. So there should be balance in terms of educational content, and then put upbeat music, and then of course an engaging character, so that you will be able to get the attention of your students, so they will not get bored in watching you on TV. Okay, number two, connect educational TV shows in your concept. Because if it's something very familiar, then students would definitely watch. You should also know what TV shows are very, very famous for the students, for you to be able to make a very good concept that is very much connected with that TV show that they really love so much. So what are the famous TV shows that they like so much? Sometimes they imitate TV reporters. So maybe you can present your lesson like a TV reporter. You can do a panel discussion. You can do like an interview, so that you will be able to make your presentation really very, very interesting. Next, number three, we have use TV series for learning. Maybe you'll be thinking, what kind of TV series? And then how are we supposed to make use of a TV series in learning? So you can, for example, you can let them watch a TV series, and then you prepare certain things that they have to do. So for example, if it's an English class, you let them watch a TV series and then you let them list down nouns, and then they are going to identify whether the nouns are singular or plural. That can be one. So in that case, they would really pay attention, and you can already let them learn, because in that lesson, they will be able to identify. So they will really watch intently because there is something that it has to be done. Or another one, you can let them watch a TV series and then they can look for the adjectives being used in the TV series and use it in a sentence. Now, in other subject areas, you can also think of possible activities. You let them watch a TV show because so that learning can still take place, so that learning will still be continuous. So you let them watch it and then you tell them a certain activity that they can do after watching. In that case, they keep on watching. For example, the first episode. So what will be your activity? And then the next episode, what will be the activity that you would let them do on the third episode? In that case, they will stick on the TV show. At the same time, they will be working on the activities that you ask them to do. That's the beauty of it. And then they will just submit it to you. Okay? So use TV series for learning. That would be possible because students love to watch TV series. They love that. Next, we have direct class teaching. So how is this one? Interactive radio instruction or televised lesson. According to a lot of researches, I think I have read 20, 20 research papers on the use of radio and TV in teaching. All of them discovered that it is effective if and only if you have what you call interactive, this one, RII for radio, interactive radio instruction. This has been used in many countries, and based on their findings, it's effective. Remember, it's just a radio. They don't see the teacher, they simply listen, although the show is aired twice a day. So one in the morning, if they missed it in the morning, it's being aired also in the afternoon. So Colombia actually had just done this one during the pandemic. They just started doing a radio, interactive radio instruction just last March. And according to their research, it's very effective. So Colombia, China, these countries are already using it. Japan, USA, Chile, Thailand, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and according also to the Ministry of Education Secretary of Cambodia, they're also planning to make use, because in Cambodia there are also a lot of areas where the net is not accessible. They're also planning to make use of interactive radio and then televised lessons just to keep the students learning. Please, teachers, the intention is not to really change the system. We need to embrace this one because we just need to let our students still be able to continue learning. So I hope that we will have a 100% support with the Department of Education in their suggestion with the use of radio and TV. It might not be the best choice, but we can still make it work. It is still possible. If it's being done in other countries, it's being practiced in other countries, and they found it effective, it is also possible in our country. It's just a matter of attitude. Because if we are negative about the use of radio and TV, then from the very beginning, it's already a failure. So we should have a very positive attitude about it. So do not be very negative and say, hindi, it's not effective. Hindi yan ano, kasi ganito, ganyan. If you have so many problems already and you have fear of the unknown from the very beginning, then you already have a problem with the possible use of radio and TV in teaching. So I hope that with open heart, we will support the suggestion of depth ed to make use of radio and TV for the meantime, because after the pandemic, everything will be okay and everything will be back to normal. What's the beauty with this one is that since we will be able to train ourselves already in the use of radio and TV, that will be an additional skill for us, at least, because we can find ways on how we can still make our lessons interactive by simply asking our students to watch, and then we let them do something based on that TV show that they are going to watch, or based on that radio program that they're going to listen to. When I was a little girl, there was in our province, because I'm from Abra, there was a TV program which tackles about fairy tales, about fables, lessons for kids. They process it. I really listened intently and I've learned from it. When it was discussed when I was in high school and college, I remember that I listened to these stories in the radio, of course, in our own dialect, Ilocano. So easily possible to learn. Next, number 4, recognize video or TV formats in language to select an extract in line with your objectives. So the first thing that you're supposed to do, what is your objective in using radio and TV in teaching? So that should be in line with the objective of the TV programs or the radio programs that you are going to talk. So what is your objective? What do you want your students to learn? So you have many options, you have many choices. If you want an FM radio, that is also possible. For example, you let them listen to music, then they do analysis with the music that they listen to. That's also one. Another one, you let them listen to music, and then maybe if it's a music class, you let them tell you, for example, what is the rhythm and so on and so forth for music. That would be fun for them because they'll be guessing, ano kaya to, 4/4, 3/4, it's still being used in And then, if it's for PE, then maybe they can listen to music on the radio, and then you tell them to create, for example, a dance step or an exercise based on that rhythm of music that they have listened to. So there are many possibilities. The use of TV and radio is very bright, and if you are very creative enough and you would like to embrace it, then you can think of many ways of using radio and TV for teaching. Definitely. Okay. Number 5, stay consistent by providing high value content. Okay. So if you will be the one to produce, or you'll be the one to be tapped to be part of a radio program or a TV program to be aired on TV or on the radio, then you have to make sure that you will be providing a high value content, because remember, your objective is to really make it educational, to really make it informative, to make it also entertaining, and to make it also inspiring. So stay consistent. Give them a high value content. There are so many talented teachers. I am very sure of that. So you can tap PE teachers for PE classes, mathematics teachers for math classes. So they do the computation for math, they do the demonstration. For PE, they do the demonstration of certain exercises. For English, they can do grammar lessons. What else? For other disciplines, history, they can give a lecture, home economics, whatever subjects you have, reading, writing. What else do you have? Filipino subjects. So you can tap different teachers all over the Philippines to be the one to record on the radio or on TV and then present the lesson. High value content lesson. Number 6, capitalize on the use of visuals. Okay, teachers talking or discussing accompanied by printed materials and other sources of enhanced learning interaction. Since we are far from our students when we are on TV, okay, we are not inside the classroom, we have to see to it that we make use of visuals, okay? For teachers, if you are talking, you can make use of visual cues. Like, for example, students listen, you focus, and many more. Okay, and also, you should have materials, available materials. So if you wanted to show them flashcards, what else? If you have videos, so additional videos. If you have pictures, that is also possible. So since when you make use of TV, then you let your students simply listen and look at you. So make use of visuals is very important. How about if it's radio? Wow, it's very nice to be a radio voice talent. You know why? You have to be able to create a very good voice. You have to be able to create beautiful sounds. For example, the sound of a horse which is running, you should be able to produce that. It's very exciting. Actually, when I let my students in the literature class do a radio drama, they love it. So you can also do a radio drama, and they will simply listen to the drama instead of asking them to watch it. You can simply let them listen. For example, if it's a literature class, you can let them listen to a certain story in the radio. So you have to have a very, very good voice projection for you to be able to project the different characters in the story. You know, students find it really very, very interesting. They love it. They have a very, very good experience in terms of radio drama. So it's okay. So for TV, use visuals. Number 7, make the lesson brief and easy to understand because you don't have an ample time to make a very long discussion. That's very true. So the lesson should be very quick. The presentation should be very quick, very simple, and the concepts should be very easily understood by your students. You know, just like when you do YouTube, when you are going to record, lessons which are being discussed, for example, for an hour can be discussed in 10 minutes. How? You have to have techniques to make a shortcut for you to be able to explain lessons in the very, very easy way, very short way, and yet the concepts will still be there. Why? Because on the radio and on TV, we have a very limited airtime. Okay? Unlike in the classroom, we can talk for an hour. So for example, lessons in subject-verb agreement is being discussed for 3 days. Like, for example, the first 4 rules is discussed on the first meeting, and then you have certain exercises. Another rule will be on the next meeting. So for 1 week or 3 days, you just discuss this kind of topic. Okay? Unlike when it's being aired on TV, you have to make it very short. So the concept, you have to be able to create a way for you to be able to transfer the knowledge in a way that they will be able to understand it easily and in a very, very short manner, quickly. I'll be showing you a sample of slides later with this one. So how will you make a shortcut for lessons which are very difficult for them to understand? You have to be able to create diagrams that when students can see it, they will be able to right away pick it up and say, yun pala yun. So you don't really need to talk a lot. By just letting them look at the diagram or an illustration, hopefully they will already be able to understand. That's how it is. So make the lesson brief and easy to understand because you don't have an ample time to make a very long discussion. The airtime on TV is very expensive. So they will just let you teach for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes, and then next lesson, next talk. Unlike in the classroom, we have all the time to really be in control of what we want to finish or not finish for the day. And then we can discuss the lesson in many possible ways to discuss the lesson. So here is a sample of an illustration of how you can transform a statement into a simple question. So instead of making a very, very long discussion, you can just give them steps, and then let them read the 4 steps, and then you give them an example. So for example, for this one, step 1, identify the verb. Step 2, move the verb as the first part of the sentence. Step 3, and step number 4. You see, if you are going to do this one, then it will be very easy for your students to understand because the steps are there. Unlike when you discuss it and you make a very long discussion, students will not be able to grasp everything. But if you do it in this way, it's very short, it will be very easy for them to understand. It's very, very quick. So when they say this one, ganun lang pala, napakadali. This is very easy. Another way, this is one of the most confusing lessons in English, the use of do, does, and did. So for do, for example, in constructing simple questions still, when the verbs are in the base form, you use do, for example. When the verbs are in the S form, you use does plus the base form of the verb. Very easy to understand. And when the verbs are in the past tense, they can make use of did plus the base form of the verb. So if you are going to do this one, then it will be very, very easy for your students to understand. So it's very quick. So this lesson, for example, can be presented in an hour. But if you are going to do a shortcut in 2 minutes or in 3 minutes, they will already be able to grasp its concept, the meaning. They will already be able to get what it means. Okay? So those are the tips that I can give you. Please do not worry because not all of us will be on TV or will be on the radio. So I would like to leave you with this one. There is no single right way to utilize radio and television for teaching. The best way to utilize it depends on the teacher's style, the discipline, so whether it's math, English, science, history, PE, and then the topic and the materials available. Okay? So there's no single right way. We can have our own style. I have just shared to you some of those things that which is based on my research that you can do for you to be able to make use of radio and television for teaching because as of this time, we do not have a choice. So before I'm going to thank you, I would like to plug my YouTube channel. So thank you for those who have already subscribed. I have, if you want to learn more shortcuts of teaching, then you can subscribe on my channel, Dr. Debbie Javier. So the topics on my channel are educational, entertaining, informative, and inspiring. Okay, I hope teachers you can subscribe because it will be a big help to you. Thank you so much for your academic indulgence. Miss Kia? Hello, Miss Kia? Miss Kia? Miss Kia?
Good
Hello.
afternoon, Doc.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Doc. A question from our viewer.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ask ko lang po if how can we monitor the progress of the students if the lessons were delivered through radio and TV broadcasting?
Because you will still keep in touch with your students, correct? So if you ask them, for example, to do certain activities, you have to give them a deadline on a schedule that you're going to pick up or you're going to collect whatever activities that you ask them to do. Because in that case, for example, since they will just listen to a radio or they will just watch the lessons on TV and then you ask them to do something, you will still give them a deadline, for example, on the activities that they have to be able to accomplish. You'll still be the one to get the activities because they can if they cannot afford to send it to you online, you will still be the one to get it from them. The only thing there is that you don't really meet them every day. So maybe you can collect the activities once a week. Thank you. I hope I was able to answer the question. Miss Kia?
Another question, Doc,
Ah, yes po.
from Miss Annabel Santos. Ma'am, do
Mhm.
you have any suggestions to seasoned teachers like us who are not well equipped in using these modes of teaching?
Okay. Some teachers. Uh, but using TV and radio is easier than the use of online teaching, I think. It's easier for to let the students make use of the radio and TV instead of doing it online. Now, if you are not really very good in terms of the use of technology or radio and TV, you can ask the help of someone to download, for example, lessons, and then you let your students watch it. That is also possible. Okay? That's a problem, ma'am. It's not only a problem of Ma'am Santos, it's a problem of a lot of teachers. There are a lot of teachers who are the same with your situation. It's a problem that we are not technologically equipped and we are having a hard time really coping with the use of technology in teaching. So ma'am, you can use radio. Pwede po yun. Kasi, for example, you can just schedule them, oh, you have to listen to this one and then this one will be the activity for this program. And then you just create certain activities. Yung activity pa rin nila, ma'am, it will still be done manually. And then you will simply schedule supposed to collect it po. Yun po yun. Marami po tayo, marami po yung ng especially we were not trained that, we are no longer equipped with it. Ang hirap-hirap na po para sa akin. Huwag po kayong mag-focus marami namang ibang din help you with it. So, kailangan, sharing is caring. Kailangan po nating magtulungan. Pag meron tayong kakayahan, if we have certain skills, then we have to share it with other teachers. It's very, very important. So, for example, you have a material, pwede mong i-share sa iba. Actually, yung sa YouTube channel ko, there are some subscribers kung pwede nilang i-link yung lesson nila doon. Yun na lang daw yung gagamitin nila. Pwede po para po hindi na kayo gagawa, mamumroblema pa kayo kung paano magpe-prepare. Pwede yun. Pwede po, na-download na ng isa or na-link na ng isa, pwede nyo pong i-share. Kiklik nyo na lang po yun. Madali lang po yun, ma'am. Don't be frustrated po. This situation will pass later on. Matatapos din to. So, for the meantime lang po, let's have this one. Let's enjoy and let's embrace this kind of style in teaching. Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc, for our last question from
Opo.
Miss Genevieve Lastimosa.
Mm-mm.
Congrats po, Madam. How can we parents help our children in learning through TV and radio broadcasting methods?
Kailangan nyo pong i-monitor. May research po about that one. Kailangan nyo pong i-monitor na panood nila at alam nyo din po dapat kung ano po yung kanilang gagawin out of that TV show or radio program na kailangan nilang mapanood, pakinggan. Dapat po alam nyo po yun. Pakikinggan nyo din po kung ano yun. You have to learn with them. It's high time that parents should be involved in the teaching-learning process. Ngayon, realize po natin kung paano ba magturo ng mga bata, paano ba nila matututunan yung mga concept, considering that we have a lot of limitations as of yet. Wala gusto naman nangyayaring ganito. So as parents, di ba may mga nag-homeschooling nga pong mga estudyante, kaya lang karamihan sa kanila mayayaman. So feeling natin ngayon, kasi parang nag-homeschooling tayo, mayaman na rin tayo. Joke lang po. No, it's possible that you have to monitor po. So yung anak nyo, titignan nyo po ano ba yung palabas na kailangan nilang mapanood, tapos ano ba yung pinagagawa ng teacher. There's beauty in the use of radio. Sana po nasagot ko po yung tanong ni ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Doc. There we have it. On behalf of Vival Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this enlightening, fun-filled, fruitful learning session today. It is an honor to have you with us today, Doc. And to all our Kavibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.
Okay na? Miss Kia, okay na?